Greetings everyone, I'm Yohann, your host for the Reality Bank Show, and welcome back to the Valentines Day edition, Breaking Up and Moving On. On the panel, we have Kaylyn, Leanne, and sir, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Suvish, I'm a counselor, also a musician, happy to be here.
Great to have you here. Now, let's start things off. First of all, Kaylyn, the question goes to you. Now, is it important to grieve the loss of your relationship before you move on? Like, do you think it's important?
Nah, it's not important. I mean, like, what are you gonna do if you were like cheated on, left for someone else, or just broke up for some unknown reason? You're just gonna grieve a loss. It's not even a death. So what do you want to grieve about?
Yeah, the person is still alive, by the
Yeah,
way.
they're very much alive.
Very much alive.
No use. So yeah.
Leanne,
As he said, I don't think it's important because what's in the past is in the past. You have to focus more on the future now. Focus on yourself after a breakup. You will eventually find someone. That person left, it's their loss. So you will eventually find someone. Focus on yourself, focus on what makes you happy. And yeah, and eventually you'll find someone that will never leave your side and will always be with you. So
for me, my take is a little bit different. For me, I feel, yeah, you should grieve the loss because I don't want to be, put the blame on the person who I'm gonna get into the next relationship with, because if I've not gotten over the last person, I'm gonna take what all the last person did, put it on this new person, and put all the more pressure on this. That's why most relationships right now, they fail due to too much of pressure. And especially you take youngsters relationships right now. So say the person has not grieved the loss for the relationship, and they get into a new one. Now let's just say the person cheated or something. Now that thought, okay, this person cheated, I've not gotten over it, now this is what is going to happen. Now coming over to my next relationship, I'm going to blame this person. I'm going to think this person is exactly the same as the last person, and that is going to cause a huge problem to the relationship. It's going to give me more mental trauma, and I won't be able to have control over anything I'm doing. The way I'll act out towards it, it'll make me look insecure. It won't give me the confidence that I once had. So sir, would you like to add a little bit more?
Before that,
Yeah,
the
go
word
ahead.
that they'll say will be in this gen is toxic.
Yeah, toxic
relationship.
toxic relationships. So yeah,
Sure. I think I like what both of you shared. I may disagree, but then again, there's a very fine line between grieving something, healing from it,
Yeah.
as opposed to staying in that place where you're putting yourself down. So I think it's important to hold ground for both, to feel what you're really feeling, to embrace the pain, get to share this with someone. And grief may seem like a harsh thing, that I'm going down to the basement and like never going to come back up, I'm going to stay depressed. And I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you find a little more of yourself in that sadness. You empathize with someone else who's gone through that sort of pain. So to grieve need not necessarily mean that it's, your life is over.
yeah,
It's gone. And the other part is to continue to try and move on in terms of, like, again, what both of you said. What are the strengths that I have? Why can I channel these emotions? Why can I pick myself up? But that's the thing, no one gets to decide but you when you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But you need to, you've got to,
True.
and we have each other, so hopefully we all do.
yeah, that's very true. Now another more important question. Now, who do you talk to during this time of the breakup? Kaylyn, we'll start with you.
The boys, we just discuss, like, we are there for each other, like, we have that little brotherhood, although we are not brother by blood, but you can, like, that bond is
Brother by
just-
spirit.
yeah. So yeah, just talk to my friends about it, discuss, and like just be like try like, what do you say, keep my mind away from it or anything like that. So yeah.
Leanne.
friends, I personally, after every slight inconvenience, I run to my grandmother. So I have friends who like be there for me and stuff, but you never know when they're gonna backbite you.
Yeah.
So the only person I trust fully, apart from him, is my grandmother. So I tell her everything. She knows all of my secrets. She's there for me whenever I need her. She lives in the same house, so I can run to her whenever I want. So yeah, it's my grandmother that I go to talk to tell everything. She gets annoyed, but she's always there for me. She's always there to pick me up whenever I fall down. So yeah.
For me, it's the same answer that Kaylyn gave. Like, you know, whenever I go through a breakup, the first thing I'm going to do is go to our friend group. He's there along with a couple of other of our friends, and I tell them, you know what, this happened, and they give me the most inspirational things ever. They're like, tap in, bro, let's go, let's move on. It's time to go for a bike ride. It's time to, you know, go and enjoy life. So I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, it's time to start healing again. So, you know what, that's a very important thing, that you have your friends there and people who you consider your brothers and sisters, you know, and not just anybody, but people who actually earn that respect from you, and you know, you trust them fully, that you know you can tell them almost anything or literally everything that you go through, and you know that they will help you. So that's a very key important point. So would you like to add on more?
Sure, definitely. Friendship, right? I think that's the theme.
Yeah.
Closeness as well as grandparents. Based on what I know, students who come to me after a breakup or friends who've gone through a tough time, they recognize that, you know, my friends have been there for me, yes, but they're going through their own thing as well, and there's certain things I can't share. And like you said, maybe because of their weakness, they might tend to backbite because, you know, they're not developed themselves, they're not healed themselves. So what I've learned to recognize is, go to your friend group, go to your close group, you get perspective for that age, but also an adult that is objective. It could be a counselor, could be a psychologist, could be someone you really trust who has no agenda of saying, you know what, I'm choosing to do this for you. I don't need anything from you.
Basically,
Recognizing,
not judging.
yeah, and recognizing that this is that person, right? Like, I don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
I'm here to do something for you, right? It's not transactional there. I think that's important because that person already has self-sufficient grace to give.
Yeah.
A parent, on the other hand, sometimes can give you truthful and honest answers, and I think teenagers at that age are like, you know, I don't listen to them because the way they say it is not helpful actually, right?
Yeah.
But when you hear it from them, listen, child, I love you and I'm saying this to you. I want you to heal, I want you to feel, and I want you to recognize that these are your priorities. You're not going to like that answer, but wouldn't you rather hear it from your parent than
but
from me?
the more logical answer.
Right? Because they're your parents and they love
Because
you.
in a way, they're actually taking it as lecture, but as they slowly move on, it'll start hitting in. Like they said, my mom said this, my dad said this, and I should have listened, but I took it as a lecture and I ignored it. And yeah,
That's the same thing. Like, I'm 21, like right now, everything that my dad and mother said, like right now I'm taking everything to heart, because at the end of the day, like when I was small, when I was still young, I used to think like, oh yeah, they're just yelling at me, they just so-called lecture.
lecture.
But then, like, as you grow up, you'll understand, okay, what they said, now it has meaning. Because I still remember a few things that my mom did say when I was about 16 or 17. And those things have really stuck on with me. As I went into college, I started to see the real thing of how people really are, how they'll actually treat you. They won't treat you on the basis of where you come from. They won't treat you on the basis of how you look, anything. You can be successful throughout the year, but you commit one mistake, just one mistake, they will call you out on it and they will remember it for your entire life. So that was the one thing my mom did warn me about, and I thought at that time it was a lecture, but now I actually understood, like, people are not going to, you know, care whether you succeed or not. They want you to fail, and when you fail, they're going to call you out on it and they're going to remember it. So that is a very important point. So would you like to continue?
Sure. To conclude, you know, I think sometimes we may not have that person who will understand us, but I think it's important to go back to the one that created us and knows us individually. So for me, it would be a letter to Jesus. It would be like, you know, this is how I'm feeling. What guidance can you give me? It may come through people, it may come through my own thoughts, right? But some don't have the opportunity to talk to their parents because of so many reasons. Some may not feel understood. But when you go to that vulnerable place of just pouring your heart out, talking to God like on a day-to-day basis, whether you're feeling good, whether you're feeling bad. Now it's kind of become a habit, you know, like even during the session, okay, what do you want me to tell these guys? So every small little thing, you know, like praying without ceasing and you're just talking. And I think it's amazing. You just get guidance throughout. And I can see the evidence of it right now. So yeah, it helps.
Now, that was a very interesting point. Now, coming over to the next question. Now, how does a person stay motivated and, stay like keep his or her mindset on during the time of the breakup? Kaylyn, would you like to begin?
I'll start off with the first thing saying ignore social medias. Uh, Go for jogs in the morning, work out, meditate. As you said, pray. I mean, it'll help you. It'll
Yeah.
calm your mind. It'll cleanse like whatever negative thoughts you have. Hang out with friends. You can't like. It's the best thing to ignore whatever is like troubling you. Like you'll be joyful there. You're like laughing, putting a smile on your face. That's the best thing you need. And yeah, nothing else.
Leanne, would you like to continue?
As you said, go for jogs, go for walks. Do things that calms your mind down from things, and spend time with your family. Watch your favorite TV shows. Binge watch your favorite TV shows. Eat your favorite food.
Don't binge watch and eat.
Yeah. True.
Because that's not going to do any good. That's just going to do the reverse
I
order.
need to make you happy. That's all that matters at that time. And-
Momentary.
Yeah.
Because say in a couple of months you turn up and you're like,
That's why I go for walks. And as you said, work out. Have a calm mindset. Don't think that like it's over. It's not over. You can like work on yourself more better. You can make yourself better. You can start loving yourself more than you already do. You can try different stuff, try new hobbies, go to different places, do things that you never thought you'd do. Not the illegal ones though. Stay safe. So yeah.
always remember the cops are looking out for you.
Exactly. So yeah, do things that makes you happy.
So I'll just build upon, very interesting point by the way. I'll just build upon whatever my friends just said. So I'll take my personal experience. So after my breakup, like my recent one, so I joined an MMA dojo, and after that, like at starting it was very hard. It was very hard to wake up in the morning. It was extremely hard, to go for training. Like I was the weakest one over there. Obviously, I was just starting. But then as I kept going, as it just continued, like I became more confident in myself, and my sensei, he gave me a lot of points. I'll tell you. He gave me really important points, really important life lessons that I still keep to this day. A year later, I still keep it to this day. I'm trying to build myself up. So anyone who has any other problem, like my younger friends as well, they can look up to me and they can be like, okay, depression is not the end road. I can build myself up from this, and I can make myself into a better human being. So I'm happy to be that example, and especially to the younger kids at the dojo, like they all look up to me. As I said on earlier shows, it is not how you start the race, it's how you end the race. So the decisions you make through the race, it can be a 100-meter dash, it can be a 1 kilometer dash, it's your choice. But the decisions you make throughout the race, that's the decisions that are going to determine how you're going to end that race. And I'll tell you something, you have to make sure to end the race as best as you can. Like, do not end it in the worst way. Trust me, each and every one of y'all has the potential to do the best thing in your life. It's all by God's strength. You're given the potential to do well in your life. So would you like to continue?
Yeah, good job, man. Firstly, like, very proud of you for being able to recognize your own ways of healing, your own ways of finding your identity in that, right? And I think that's the first point I'm going to make. When you feel something, don't hide it, because there's a beautiful proverb that says, better is a harsh rebuke than hidden love.
Yeah.
The reason I told you all this, even though I've just met you, sometimes it's important to just say it. When you think it, don't hold back. Like, man, I want to give you a hug. Or I want to, just feel that love. Let it not be hidden, And based on what you all just shared, I think by now everyone's realized that each one has their own way of
building up to their own happiness.
Yeah.
to cope. But one particular thing I'd like to mention is when you're sad, upset, and hurt, the temptation is to stay there. But I think it's important to hold space for both. You can be sad and still smile.
Yeah.
You can be hurting and still do something good. Right? It's okay to laugh. It's okay to have fun with your friends and still feel that pain on the inside, right?
Yeah, true.
So I think the whole space for both and to heal from that is important. But professionally, if it's difficult, to talk to someone you can trust, not just anyone. It breaks my heart sometimes where school counselors, other people have broken the trust of some kids, and they come to me and like, you know what? They told my mom this, they told my dad this without my permission. And who are they going to trust after that? You know, because as professionals, that's an ethic, but personally building on yourself, even though you're a counselor, is important too. Like, how much are you healing? Can you keep that? Can you help that child? And I mean, I do that. I've seen many kids, you know, who can't afford the session. I'm like, just come. You come, give me your time, you give me how much ever you want to. And I've seen them change and heal. And they tell another kid and another kid. And this is not one of the reasons I'm doing this, right? So hopefully more people will know. So I think it is important to talk to a professional who's also been through similar paths.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, coming over to my next question. Now, it goes back to Kaylyn. Now, what do you do? What would you do? How would you feel if you had seen your ex with someone else? That also ties up to my next question, which I'll ask straight away. How do you know you're truly over your ex?
Okay, which one do you want me to answer first?
Answer the what do you do if you see someone with your ex, like your ex current boyfriend, not you, or somebody else.
I mean, can't do anything. If they chose that person, they chose that person. You're happy with yourself, you just move on. Don't ignore it, just see it like, okay, that happened. Go on, that's all. You can't do anything else.
Exactly.
Just be happy. I mean, you'll be with your friends, or you'll be doing something important. Like, you actually won't have the time to notice it, or you like just notice it and, oh, it was them. Okay, never mind. I'm anyway moving on from this. It's like no use to like see and like be sad about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already moved on from it, healed so much, been happy. Like, there's no point of going back to square one and like, you know, building up again from that. So yeah.
Leanne?
Same thing as he said. There's no use in like thinking they've moved on and like they've got someone new. I mean, yes, they have, but you have to like, as I said before as well, you can do things that get you over them. So you're over them already. It may hurt for a little while. It may hurt. Of course, it may hurt. But you have better things to do in life. You can't just sit and be like, oh my god, they've left. They've left. Get your life up and move on. Do things that make you happy, like I said before. So yeah, there's no use in like grieving over a person who's already left you and who's not seen your worth. Because I think that's what's more important.
Very good point.
So that's what's important. You have to be with someone who like sees your worth, sees how much you're worth, and so yeah, that's basically.
Building on what she said, a very good point, really good point. As my friends did say, you know what? Nowadays people, they do not want to deal with the real deal. You know, if they find someone too real, it's an insult to them. They are being triggered. They're being threatened. Especially in the young age. Yeah, they get insecure about it. They're like, wait, why is he doing so much for me? And I'm not doing like, you know, as much as I should do. You know, I'm getting threatened right here. I'm getting very insecure. So, you know, that's why the breakup takes place. And that's why the cheating also as well takes place.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then as my life continued, two of my ex's friends, they sent me a follow request on Instagram. So my initial thought was like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, ignore it or block them or something like that. But then I remembered a very important quote. Do not prevent people from seeing what you can truly become. They break up with you for a reason. They think, oh yeah, you're not enough. For like they're following me right now. They're seeing my changes. They're seeing how good life is going. So that is going to hurt them. They're going to feel like, oh yeah, I should not have left him. You know, he was the one for me or she was the one for me. Either way. So as I said, in the end, it just matters how you perceive from there, how you take the turn from there. You can go in the negative way, which leads down to drugs, alcohol, smoking and all. Don't take that route. Do not take that route. That lead you in a very bad route. I had friends who went down that route and it led them very bad, but of course they did come back, thank God about that. So take the right route, okay? The right route is where, you know, you reflect on your actions. You think, okay, why did she leave me? Okay? Come down to that conclusion. It can be anything. It can be like, you're not enough. Make yourself enough. Make yourself better. Like, they didn't see your worth.
Use it as a motivational point.
Exactly. Use it as a motivational point. Build it on that. Don't sit there and be like, oh God, they left me. I don't have this. I don't have that. There's no point. There's utterly no point. You have to keep going, because as a human being, you have to evolve yourself. Like, take our ancestors for example. They evolved themselves to become who they are today. So you have to evolve yourself. You have to become even more better. So take all of this and use it as motivation, because it will help you in the long run. It will help you really well in the long run. And so, would you like to conclude on that point?
Absolutely. I mean, such wise words. I'm just so happy looking at y'all and just make me smile. But I think one point which I've noticed, like I said, that frontal cortex growing,
Yeah.
recognizing that in that moment when you see that person, knowing that your thoughts are different from your feelings. It's okay to feel angry, okay to feel upset, jealous, hurt. But what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts saying? Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, look at that person doing this. Those are not necessary. You deal with the emotions, saying, I'm hurt, I'm going to write a song, I'm going to share something, I'm going to take care of my heart. But I also need to take care of my mind. So both of you said the right things,
Yeah.
But it's important to recognize the difference. That these are my thoughts that I need to work on. I shouldn't stay in that place. But we cannot try and replace head with heart. Like I keep telling
Yeah.
people, when you have a heart problem, you don't go to a neurosurgeon. He's probably going to give you something and make you feel better temporarily, some sort of drug. But we need to fix both issues, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's a head thing that you need to take care of. But don't ignore the heart by trying to fix it with your mind. Be strong. Go to the gym. Do that.
Work on a chain
What about those
reaction.
emotions? That's still your heart.
Yeah.
You need to take care of that too.
So basically, work on a chain reaction, like both together. at
more or
the same
less,
time.
your head, heart, and body
Yeah.
become one. So I think that's important when you see an ex, recognize that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, one more thing before you move to the next question. As
Yeah.
you said, the part where the trust breaks, like that certain one best friend is there, or whoever that person is, like not to bother about them, but then you see that person with them after your breakup and all. So yeah, that trust is broken over that. Then you don't want to trust anyone else, as you said in the
Yeah,
last
that leads on to
questions.
the next relationship. That puts more
Yeah.
pressure on the
Point.
next relationship as well.
True.
So, coming over to my final question now, what do you need to do to keep yourself emotionally and physically strong during this time of the breakup? Because they both tie in together. Like, if you're emotionally weak, you're going to do physical harm,
Yeah.
and that will lead to, further consequences and further lead to suicide.
You actually can't do much other than just build yourself. Like there's nothing else than that you can do. Meditation, that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
What else? Family quality time, friend quality time. Like get a time management.
Yeah.
Like know what you're doing time to time. Then what else? Like eat all your meals. Like don't go into that that depression part. Like don't eat. Nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm going to revolt against my own body. Don't do that.
Instead,
Eat
fun
all your
fact,
meals.
if you do that, you actually gain more weight than you actually lose weight.
Point.
That's a fun fact, by the way.
True. So yeah, don't do all that. Don't go into that self-harm place where you don't want to do anything for yourself and just cut yourself out from everyone else. So yeah, nothing else.
Leanne?
As you said, there's nothing much you can do other than stay strong for yourself. Work on yourself. Go for morning jogs. Go for morning walks. Go for not just morning, any time of the day. Anytime you want, just go for a walk. Calm your mind and listen to music. Music helps a lot in calming your mindset and making you think straight and stuff. And yeah, do what makes you happy. That's
Music does help. but-
Speaking of the music part, it helps a lot. It gives a new sense of motivation that you never knew you could have.
Unless you go on wrong soundtrack.
Yeah, unless you take the wrong soundtrack. So, would you like to conclude?
Sure, I like what again you all said. I think that routine is important in spite of feeling pain.
Yeah.
To be willing to wake up in the morning, do your own thing, do your own chores, but also to be emotionally and physically strong. I think to say yes to opportunity, like we all did today. Like we could have denied it, but to share your story, to do something that you're not really willing to do, get out of that comfort zone. And that will give you that emotional strength. And the beauty in that is you find your purpose. Like I remember when I had gone through a tough time, a breakup, and someone was not there. I had to go take a class in this one particular school, and I didn't want to because I'm sad. But I remember praying And I felt like as I was going, I had no one to support me, but physically felt like I was holding on to someone's hand. And I'm like, okay, I'm not alone, I'm going to go. And that was my first ever class. And me having this shy voice, not too loud, not projecting, to talk to big class, I could see beauty in that. The kids asked me one question that we started with, what is love? And I said, there's no greater love than a friend who would lay down their life. And I said, Jesus is the only person I know who did that. And if we die and we do something, we don't come back to life, right? This person comes
you
back.
only get one shot at life. It's not a reincarnation, okay?
So
You don't come back to
rise
life.
back. So you rise back from the ashes, and I think that gives emotional strength. Make use of the opportunity, because that's the day I found my purpose, and till today I'm doing it. So
That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
seize the opportunity. Yeah.
So that said, I would like to conclude today's program. And a huge thank you for our viewers for tuning in and listening to the Reality Bang, the Valentine's Day special edition. That said, a huge thank you to my panel. Thank you for being here. This is RJ Yohann signing out.